I listen a lot to the marketing podcast, and then I browse through some of the podcasts like, oh, this is going to be so similar. I've heard this before. I've heard this before. This one is not going to be the same as any other. That's what I love about it. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at you. Outbound, the classical outbound. I call you, I may email you, and I book the meetings. Used to work with personalization and yada, 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 and all those things that people spoke about, that it was the big trend. Outbound, like that, does not work.
What outbound works then?
Social outbound works. So people want to shop. How can you make an experience for people that they feel like they're choosing?
Yeah. I think I definitely need to work on that schema more.
If I invest in marketing, my biggest fear is that I will be running some expensive campaigns and I don't know if they're working. I would fucking put 10x more money into it if I know it's working and it's bringing new business. I'm not afraid to put that money in.
That's exactly what the buyers are.
This is interesting. The trio in the co-founding team, the clever one, smart one, and the good energy person. It's like, try to pinpoint that.
How has your understanding of the LinkedIn game changed in the last year?
Oh, LinkedIn is becoming much more fun, I would say. So one of the things that still really works in outbound is video. So I think what changed is more people started to do good quality content, more personalized content, or really niched content. Relax. There will come a time when you are fucked. Sometimes you don't even say that to yourself.
Yeah, I love that. I'll pass this over to my sales team. Shout out to Belkins sales team, do that. I didn't click record button. Imagine that.
Oh my God.
I know.
Did he say yes to the second one?
I was so embarrassing to tell you that I did that I just ignored the podcast,
No, Morgan is nice. He'll say yes to the second one. Don't worry about that.
All right, so I'm kicking this off with the following. Where do you buy your hats from?
So random. I don't even know where it started. Yeah. I don't know. I always used to be kind of a hat person. You go into a shop and then you try it on. It's like, oh, I could pull this look off. And then I buy it and then I do pull it off. Some people would just say, no, never. So the last one, the best story about the blue hat was we went to Miami with my family to take a cruise and we were out shopping. And I told to my husband, I need nothing. I'm not going to buy a thing because I'm not shopping. It's for my daughters. Fine. And we're walking around in all of those teenager shops. It's like Forever 21. And I see this light blue hat. My husband is sitting downstairs and waiting for us to come over. And I'm coming down to him and say, so I'm buying this hat. He's looking at me. This looks like a very clowny hat. How are you going to wear this? You're not buying this, are you? So yes, I am. It was like $20. Like, this is not even a good quality hat. Why would you want a hat? It was like, I think I can pull it off. It was the best stunt, especially for events.
Right.
Damn, it works. It suddenly became a thing. It's like, I'm a hat person.
Did you count your hats? How many hats you have?
Yeah, 10.
10 hats.
11 with the blue one. Yes, 11.
What's the most expensive one? You have like some like your favorite expensive one, someone that's like you clean all the time. You're like, oh, I wanted to keep this one for years.
I've got a couple of expensive ones, but they're not like nuts expensive, like a couple of $100s. I've got a brown and a blue one, a dark blue one. Those are nice and they're real wool and stuff. They're nice.
Is that blue one is your favorite one, or you have another one that has a story behind
Oh, the
it?
dark blue one. But my favorite one is a brown one, actually. I think it looks the best on me.
It's just look the best, or you have a story behind it?
It was a gift from my husband's sister, and I really love it. It's kind of both the story and it fits. It's matches.
I had a hat period when I basically several summers just were wearing hats. It just sometimes you stop doing that and sometimes go back to the old classics.
Yeah. Exactly. You could pull off a hat. That could look good.
Oh, yeah. Tell me this, and I specifically start out with hats. Is wearing a hat is like an intentional marketing move to be remembered, to stand out?
It became that. So I can, like, going a little further, actually, now I remember the thing. So I had hats before, but the part of the story is I used to work for a company called Red Hat. And when you join a company, every single employee at kickoff gets a nice wool red fedora that is already measured for your head. So when you join the company, a part of your HR onboarding, you have to measure your head and put in the numbers of your head measures. And when you come to the kickoff of all of the new hires, for me, it was in Munich, in Germany, everybody gets a new hat. And that's where I got a red hat. I still have it. I love it a lot, but never wear it. It's kind of a rare one. You can't pull it off. And while I was presenting on stages or going to events with red hat, most of us would usually take on a hat because it was a marketing thing. This is red hat. That's what we wear. And when I went to Gartner, it kind of went away. Still had the hat, but went away, never wore it. And it's Gartner, you wear a shirt and like a blue blazer and shit. And then I joined DreamData and I said, wait, I'm still a hat person. And I started to wear them just to the office, not some like marketing stunts or anything. And then I found that beautiful blue hat in Miami for $20. And it became a thing because it matched the color of DreamData's branding. And I did some videos before the events.
Yeah.
And people started remembering. And I said, okay, so for every day of inbound, imagine inbound, there are, I don't know, like 10,000s of people there.
Yeah.
People remember, they come over and say hi to you. It's like, are you Laura? I say, yes, and I'm a salesperson and you're a marketing person. So now we're going to talk. So it became a thing, but it was never planned. It just happened like it.
Do you do anything else intentionally for that purpose to stand out or being remembered? Any moves that you kind of start trying to do on a regular basis?
Yeah. When you're selling to marketers, you have to stand out. Just when you're a salesperson, especially, because selling to marketers is the hardest thing ever because they are the masters of creativity, of all the new campaigns kicked off and so on. And if you do a campaign on a marketer that is an email campaign and say, oh, hello, X, you in the company X, would you like to buy this because service, nice. Nobody will ever buy it, and they will probably ban you mentally from ever contacting them. And if any other colleague later tries to call them, like, you're done. Thank you. I'm a marketer. I'm special. Treat me as one. And that was one of the reasons why we figured out that LinkedIn social selling works. And intentionally, I do videos, a lot of those, because then you can see me move, you can see me speak, that I can see sometimes clever stuff. It's like if I took a call with you or I called you, you would remember and you would say yes, because it seems kind of fun. I could do it.
Yeah.
But one of those intentional things is biking. So I live in Copenhagen and I bike to work. I've got 4 minutes on a bike to my office. And on a bike, like at least once a week, I would shoot a video. Like while biking, it's like, what is it that we're releasing today? Oh, wait, audiences. Okay, let me talk about audience. I'm biking and talking about audiences. And then I just cut it and ship it off to LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's on a bike. And I say the words that I'm actually usually saying on the sales calls as well.
Yeah.
And when we're doing a release, people have seen some fun stuff. A moving face on a bike. Everybody's concerned, of course, because you're biking and in the phone with your hand. Never do that, please. Nobody should ever do this. This is dangerous. But maybe I'm not even biking. Maybe it's like a great or something, right? And when I went to New York, I was thinking, how can I book meetings as well with people in New York, with marketers? You have to stand out. If you just say, oh, should we have a coffee meeting? It's like, I have coffee meetings with my mom and with my cousins and with my best friend, not with sales. But if you say, oh, should we do a biking session together and we're going to shoot some content and I'm going to ask you some questions, I did not get a no. So if people were in the city and they were intrigued, so, oh, I know you biking, so are we going to bike on the New York streets? This is crazy. We're not doing this. But nobody knew. So I rented a pedicab and we biked around in the Central Park by just sitting at the back of the bike, but it's still a bike. And people remembered it. So those kind of stunts, they do follow you a bit because people would remember you and it's a bit easier to get a yes.
That's actually the post that I've shared with my CMO, exactly when you explained like why you did the bikes interview. I love them, by the way. So that was cool. All right. So people see you, on there creating, addressing to marketing, being all this social, excited, active, smiling all the time. What sides of you we don't see behind the scenes? What's happening behind the scenes that you kind of keep it as, not very for the eyes of the others?
You really
Give me
want to go
something,
there?
please. Yes.
You
Just
sure?
just some like an example. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't speak a lot about my family. I do once in a while. Sometimes it's intentional because, oh, it's a Mother's Day, or it's, what is it, like the 24th of November when women stop getting salary because they get
Mhm.
20% less as men, yada, yada, yada. I would use it almost as a stunt as well for some content, but it's true. So it's not because it's a lie that I would use it, but I would intentionally use me being a woman, a mom, a mother of daughters, for some intentional posts on LinkedIn as well with a specific topic. But I don't speak about that way too much. What else? So I've got a lot of balls in the air juggling with working American hours and working in Europe and so on. It's fucking hard. I speak about that once in a while, but it's something that I manage. And I
Yeah.
actually was thinking about the post just recently of how could I share that, how hard it is, that people could realize that sometimes we take things for granted. And why do some people actually choose to do what they do? So what I do, I think it's quite hard, but I do manage it because it's fun, because it's engaging, because I love the company, because we're growing and so on and so forth. So many things that are
Right.
rewarding. But on the other side, you have to compromise with a lot of things that sometimes you don't even say that to the public, as you're asking, what is it that people don't know?
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Compromise.
sometimes you don't even say that to yourself. The why and what is it that you're actually hiding from the public and from yourself? That why has to be so strong for you to say no to the things that you're actually hiding from you. That's the hardest part. So yeah, those personal stuff people don't know that much. But I don't have that much time left within the 24 hours. So like people know I run, I bike, they know that I have a family, that I work at DreamData. Well, on holidays I don't post. And not many people know that I come from Lithuania, that I have no family besides my own created family in Denmark, but I have that in Lithuania. And that's basically it. There's not so much to hide.
One of the questions that I actually have on the list was how you managed to pull all of that in one day. So I was wondering, on average, what percentage of what you're doing a day? So, like in terms of sales calls and content and teamwork, like what do you do something consistently, and what do you kind of change around or kind of mix up or don't do regularly, if you would say, and what kind of percentage of that day spent on what?
I don't know. I don't know how to manage, but it happens. I think there might be like 5 extra hours in my day that I got given out when I was born. But the way I manage it is, so at least 2 or 3 sales calls during the day. So already 3 hours out. Preparations for those calls. Sometimes you do the preparations yourself. Sometimes you need somebody else to prepare for it if somebody else is joining that call as well. Then we've got daily stand-ups with the team. Then what else? So once in a while, there are all of those forecast meetings and all the internal stuff.
Fine.
That is also around an hour per week. No, per day.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's more condensed, like the team stuff. And then I do warm dinners to my family every single day. It's very rare that we eat something cold. So warm dinners. And most often they're started to be done by my husband and I finish it off because I'm doing it faster. Then I do run to school with my kids just because I want to. My kids are quite big now, so they're 13 and 10, so they can bike to school by themselves. We live in Denmark, you can do that. But I choose to wake up with them, give them breakfast, we run to school, and I finish off my run, I come back, I take a shower, I come to work. It's 9:30 around when I come to work, then we start all the team stuff. And at the end of the day, I already had one customer call. Then my customer calls start. And then I go do the dinner. Then my customer calls continue. Besides that, There's
Yeah.
content creation that is usually is off the bat. Sometimes it's scheduled from the weekend, but very rare. So most of the times it's off the bat. What else do I do? Yeah, I've got some advisory positions as well. So ad hoc, I meet those people or create content for them. That doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take time. And usually it is in the evenings when the kids are sleeping. And then I try to sleep 7 hours every night.
Right.
And it's gone. Then it's gone.
Two things here. And I'm curious about your sales leadership role, specifically from the selling part. So let's say if you're saying about 2-3 calls a day, as you say, so I'm looking at the pipeline of 20, 30 new opportunities a month. So would you say that you can take less opportunities but convert them with a higher percentage just because of the work that you're doing on the back end with social selling, with brand, and so on and so forth? So let's say your personal closing conversion can be higher X than on average because of that. So you essentially don't need to take as many appointments as you would expect to take to be able to hit that.
We work as a team. So here's a interesting part about DreamData. We're split into Europe, like EMEA team and the Americas team, and we work as a team, which also means that we take opportunities depending on like the seniority and the size and so on, but we are also paid accordingly as a team. So everything I close, my colleagues are also commissioned on that, which means that we're helping each other out whenever we have time or we need some help. Somebody's more technical, somebody's more strategic. Do I need somebody's help to get on a call to help me out on closing the deal, or somebody to do a demo for me? So we do that in a team. And that also helps us to focus and put the right people into the buckets that they are best at and enjoy it the most as well. And if they want to learn and grow into some of those other parts of the selling journey, then we would, of course, they would choose to take those parts of meetings as well. But that also helps to look at the wholesale and the experience for the client from a different perspective as well. So I cannot take any of that, like I close the deal and I'm the best at that, and even my LinkedIn social selling part. So it doesn't only help me to close deals. This is a big part of DreamData as well, where I am enabling other people as well to do social selling. DreamData, as in general, is focused on a lot of social selling for the whole company too. And whenever we've got leads, most of them I might be connected with, but they have seen us from all of that content that has been created by all of the people in the company as well. So I can't take credit for all of that, but I kind of find it easy to do. And maybe that ease of doing that social selling also pays out, and I don't need to use that much time to really try to do a lot of content creation.
Curious if you can actually, or anyone can measure the increase in the closing depending on that social selling factor X that you're working on. Do you
I
measure
think it
that?
starts a bit earlier, so you can't really attribute it back to the factor of closing. Maybe I'm really bad at closing. Maybe I'm just very good at generating those leads and getting their interest and getting the first meeting and having that meeting. But the next step, maybe somebody else is better at. So I think there is a balance between what people are good at and what their actual qualities are, that we can play them in the best roles in sales as well. And then, of course, try to balance that. If somebody would like to be better at social selling, then we would definitely help that. And if somebody would like to be better at closing the deals, and that they would get help on that part as well. So I don't think that really correlates that much, as social selling is more the start.
Yeah.
You still can bucket it as marketing. And, but since it blurs, the lines between sales and marketing nowadays are so much more blurred in B2Bs, because the buyers don't want to be sold to, they want to shop, they love it. And kind of marketing supports them with that. And if sales is able to generate some of that shopping experience for the buyers before they actually convert and are put in the buckets of the process of how you're buying this product right now, then it's, the barriers are broken down, and it's the nicest thing for the buyers as well.
If you would need to pinpoint the line between sales and marketing, where would you put it? Where is the line that, or example of something that you're kind of crossing the line of marketing and sales, or it's a marketing thing, I don't cross there?
I think it's more saturation. Where do you do more touches as sales or marketing? There is no line. Because when somebody comes into your funnel as an MQL or an SQL, if you choose, you still need to figure out what marketing you need to do. Because if you just drop them off as a marketer and sales are picking them up, you still need to, both as a marketer, see what actually closed at the very end, what dropped out and why. The ones that did not drop out, what did they do so we can create a better audience for that type of clients as well to bring them in? So marketing comes so close into the sales funnel. And sales, on the other hand, well, when you're doing cold calling, you're basically doing marketing. This is
Right.
telemarketing in
True.
the olden days as well. So it's more saturation. Sales does much more touches at the end of the funnel and the cycle. And marketing does much more at the beginning to create that awareness and to get them into understanding what you actually are doing.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a line.
So if you were to pick, you have two leaders, sales leader and marketing leader, and then you have business development function. Where do you put business development? Into marketing or into sales?
It's a good question. I've been talking with the companies who do differently. So some of them put them into marketing, some of them put them into sales, or as a separate function that sits in the middle, that both understands what marketing is doing and sales is doing. So if it is only a function of BDRs or just to book meetings, my opinion is they should be sitting in marketing.
Yeah.
Because only when they think that, okay, now I would like to start doing calls and demos, then definitely they're better off sitting together with sales and understanding what does the best demo look like and what kind of
Yeah.
questions we need to ask and so on. But only for booking meetings, it's a very similar call to action as just booking a demo on the website. And if we're doing that in tandem, something happened in marketing, they touched this, and then I called them, and then I converted them. It's purely such close relationship within
Yeah.
marketing.
I agree. Yeah. I had biz dev part of sales team, couldn't scale, put them back to marketing, can scale multi-channel with them together. But then obviously they sit on sales calls, they get on sales meetings, they're part of the they even are kind of compensated in a way, a small percentage of the deal when they're driving the deal from the sales as a commission, but they're part of the marketing function and are aware of every marketing things that are happening and they're executing the marketing strategies, right? Interesting.
Really, I like it.
All right. Your top 3 rules when working with people.
You need to understand what are people driven off.
Mm-hmm.
What drives them? Does it drive them to have a goal and just go after it and figure it out yourself? Do you need guidance? What is it that drives you day to day? And it doesn't have to be just work related. So you can have the best day at work as well. So if you're driven by the social stuff at work and so on, we need to figure out, where do you need to sit? Who do you need to collaborate with? And how can I support you best as well in that type? Or if you need a silent corner, don't disturb me. And then later, at the end of the day, then you just like to reflect on that. We're going to accommodate that. So understand what drives people and put them into those places. Again, it goes back to the same, like, where do you get your energy from? For me, it's really, really important in your career as well. So what's your ambition? Where do you want to go? And where do you get your energy from? And try to build your road accordingly that you enjoy the ride to the target, but also how you get there. Because if you choose to work with stuff that brings you energy, then you will have to choose some of the stuff that is a bit boring, but still takes you to your goal. Then by managing the two, you will both enjoy the ride, but you will also get there and enjoy the place you're at the same time.
All the people that you've been working with or talking to, what drives them the most right now? If you were to pick one thing, 2024, like either I'm getting older or I always see this generational thing or the age thing or something where like I don't start understanding the motivation of some people and or just don't align with them, so on and so forth. So curious to, again, you've spoken about the energy source and what drives people. So if you were to single out one thing to drive the people that you are surrounded yourself with, what would that be?
People want to contribute in a meaningful way.
Mm.
Like, if I said people care about money, it is right. You want to be compensated fairly for the work that you're doing. And I know some people that will be sacrificing and just doing the work that they're hating for double that salary. But most of the people that I work with and I'm surrounded with, they want to be contributing to, it doesn't have to be a higher goal. I don't see that as kind of, oh, we need to save the environment or the ants or whatever that is. They want to feel seen and contributing to the bigger goal of the company. And if that connects to how they want to grow for the future as well, plus they're fairly compensated, then I see very happy people around me. And it's the same with me. And so whenever I feel seen, contributing to the company's
Right.
growth, fairly paid, I'm happy. Kind of just leave me there. And especially if you just let me do some crazy stuff once in a while, the fuck, we're gonna go really far.
Yeah. What about buyers? I'm curious. What are the buyers driven for or by or generally? If you were to single out one thing that all the buyers are driven by at this point.
And here I don't know exactly because I have like ideas what I think drives
I
some
also
people.
like it's let's tell me what you think and I'll tell you what I think.
Yeah. I think people want to be, in a way, want to feel free and entertained in the sales process while shopping. So even B2B buyers, even though you're thinking, oh, this is a bigger goal, we have to map this out to all of those goals that company has, it still has to be tailored and in a way connecting with you as a person while I'm buying this product. So it's not just the brain connecting to what you're showing me, but also a little bit of here coming over into your screen. I was pointing to my heart if it was on a video, connecting to what I'm showing right now. And that's where the magic happens for most of the buyers themselves. What do you think?
I was thinking more to the ground, like saving or something,
Wow.
because like as if. And again, the question was more about what's happening at this point, and I think at this point, everyone is just more concerned about the costs and optimization and saving and reducing and kind of taking back to the house. I don't know, as if the price point or the pricing or generally the pricing as the subject has changed and we cannot tie it anymore to our spend or to the labor or to whatever, to developing the product, as if pricing is so in the air that people cannot reference to anything, and that's why they're concerned about spending too much or not being able to buy that or something. And that actually goes to the point of just the business model, the right business model. And so it's like an example, like in United States, like I've saw this reels this morning when I was in the taxi about someone saying that they went to see Taylor Swift concert in Europe because in the United States it was too expensive to go to buy the ticket and so on and so forth. And you just see there's a correlation between the prices or correlation about the products or correlation about something, and there's nothing. And sometimes you just kind of, and that there's one company that just introduced this new business model that can both be interesting and intriguing, but also on the saving options you can save. And then the buyers are like, love that, buy that, let's go with that or whatever. So that was where I was.
I think this is fun. So if you choose to go to a Taylor Swift concert, I don't know, you'll live in New York and the concert is in Boston. So you'll need to take the train and you'll need to go to there and to get a hotel. Probably it's going to be a bit more expensive. But if you chose to go to Europe to see Taylor Swift concert, on paper, that might seem cheaper, but you're going to stay there for a longer time. You're going to spend much more money, which means that human brain does not connect that to begin with. This is an experience I'm buying. So I'm kindly connecting my heart to the purchase right now because I want to go to Europe and it is cheaper. Probably not, but I'm not going to say that to my brain. And I'm going to have this experience. It's going to be the best. And I'm going to tell everybody that this is a saving, even though it's not.
Yeah. But that's exactly the buyers. That's exactly what the buyers are. Yeah. So they think short term about the save at this point, although there might be so much more expenses later, but later is later. So it's like we don't look at future, right? We look at what I have right now.
But somehow I think that when reflecting more on this, buyers are not afraid to spend more, but they're afraid to not be able to quantify what's actually working
Mm.
and to scale that, because nobody is afraid to spend more money when traveling to Europe and going to a Taylor Swift concert. But they're afraid to calculate this at this current moment and not know.
Mm.
Because right now, let's say if I invest in marketing, that's what I sell. If I invest in marketing, my biggest fear is that I will be running some expensive campaigns and I don't know if they're working. I would fucking put 10x more money into it if I know it's working and it's bringing
Yeah.
new business. I'm not afraid to put that money in. But that unknown part, I will be spending, I don't know, $500,000 a month on paid ads, and only half of it is going to be successful, the other half not, but I just don't know which half that is.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's true. One lesson you've learned from the best manager you ever had in your life, and maybe you can even give a shout out to that person.
This is interesting. Through my whole career, I had a lot of good managers. I only had one very bad one, and then a lot of very, very good ones. So
What's his name?
I think that one manager, it's tough
What
to.
what was the name of the not the good one?
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at you. No. So talking about the good managers, when you're thinking about those experiences, what is it that you have learned? So Red Hat was my first move into sales.
Mhm.
And he was not even my manager. My manager was a different person. She was amazing. But that person I was working with, he pushed me places to dare and to do stuff that others either wouldn't think to do or would be afraid that they would be stepping on some other people's toes. So I was in inside sales when I joined DreamData, and Sture,
Mhm.
he was the key account manager there. I was
Mhm.
looking up to him like crazy. And we were working on the craziest project where I was not yelled out that, but like you pick up the phone and you call the right person in the company to get an approval, or you just print out the order form and you just bike over to the customer and they sign the deal because, well, they're at the office, but they're not picking up the phone. Like, do stuff a little bit bolder than anybody else would dare to do, and you will be in front every single time.
Hold on. You biked to the office?
Yeah. So what happened was we had a huge deal. Actually, at that time, I was working myself on that account, so I took over for him. And we had a big renewal with some new sales and so
Right.
on. And what happened was that guy already signed the deal, but deal office, because in big companies, that's what you have. You have a signed
Yeah.
deal and they have to review it if it's signed correctly. He said, this date was not written right, and then we cannot acknowledge this deal. Right. And it's the end of the quarter.
Wow.
So I print out the order form. That's the only thing I can do. He's not picking up the phone. It's the last day. And I know where the office is. The funny thing is the office is just the building behind this current building right now. So I bike here. I come to the office. I know some people working there very well, but the manager I never met. So I come in and say, hello. I don't remember. I think his name was Jan. So is Jan at the office? I say, yeah. And I know where his office is. I say, can I pass by? I said, okay. I said, I just come in there with a purpose to say,
Right.
banging on the door, say, hi, Jan. He's like looking, he's not in a meeting. He's like going and say, hi, so you just signed this deal, but it was wrong. So I just fixed the dates right now. Can you just sign it? And then we're good. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. And then it was signed, and then I could register it, and it was good for the quarter as well. That was
That's
fun.
nice. That's a great advice.
Yeah. So be bold. Do a step more than anybody else could do. And it serves you in two ways, because it serves you to be better in sales, to be faster in that, but you will have so much more fun. Because if you were following the process all the time, it works. You will probably hit your
Yeah.
goals, but it's also kind of boring. So I think all of those billboards and shit that I'm doing here as well, I think
Taking one
a
further
little bit like that
Yeah.
is still working.
That's fun. Do you think it's something that inherently a personal trait? So it's like, what you were saying super relates to me. I'm always trying to, push one step further, whatever I'm doing, like writing an email. Shit, I can write a better email. I can do better things. But I know so many people that don't do that. So do they need just to listen to motivational speech from you and I here, or it's just the thing that the parents taught you or the experiences taught you? Is that something that you're teaching to your kids?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of the two. So to start with, it is a personal trait that you're okay to feel uncomfortable.
Mm,
It's fine for you to be exposed. I mean, it takes some guts to get into an office and ask for Jan and bang on
sure.
his door and get the signature.
Yeah,
But as
sure.
long as you enjoy that process, it's kind of fun. And I do teach my kids that it's not that I teach them, but sometimes I just leave them alone. It's like, this thing, you go figure. You want to go and swim in the canal with your friends? Is there a grown up there? It's like, yeah. You've got a phone, you call your friend, you organize it all, and you go do it. It's like, all right. So it comes with those traits, and also
Right.
for you being pushed every single time a little bit by somebody. But it's also knowing that what's the worst that can happen every single time I think about it. It's like, if there is an idea that I would think of executing, it's like, is there anything bad that can happen with it? Like, well, will you get fired? Oh, wait, is that even bad? It's like, you know, options you've got. So when you unpack, I don't unpack every single thing, but
Right.
if you like feel stuck, oh, this is feeling like shit. And if I could have all the options in the world, I would do this. And then try to think back, it's like, why wouldn't I just do it now?
Yeah. How are you pushing yourself at the DreamData right now, at your current job, or just personally? An example of you pushing yourself right now.
No, I have to say no. So for me to push myself is actually to limit what I am doing. I used to do that all the time. So just say yes to a lot of stuff, and it's fun and it's all over the place. For me, limiting myself is a push for me. So just to put me into places like, okay, so now you sit down and focus on prospecting, or right now you sit down and focus on, I don't know, writing down this process, or I don't know, whatever else, doing the offer. Instead of just pushing it away and taking the fun stuff, I have to limit that out and only pick up on the stuff that is actually impactful. So maybe I'm grown up or something right now. So like when you need to do fun stuff, make sure that those are the impactful stuff that you're doing, and it's not just for because it's so much fun. It's cool. You can pick it up a little bit later, but now I need to, be a grown up and grow a little.
I have a bunch of questions from the sales trenches.
Go.
As they say. Should sales execs generate their own pipeline?
Yes, 100%.
What if marketing provides them with leads? So
Still.
they're like full.
Yeah, there will come a time when you are fucked. And you'll have to change your job or have to figure out how to do that. And it's hard if you have to do that much later in your sales job when you joined it. So at DreamData, that's exactly what was happening and is still happening. We have the market's best CMO. Seriously, Stefan, he is amazing. And we are grown up salespeople. I've been here for almost 4 years, have been receiving inbounds all the time, quality inbounds. But every time while getting those inbounds, we're trying to figure out how do we do proper outbound? How can we make sure that we know what outbound actually is working? Because the market is changing as well. So we can just a little tiny bit do parts of that and figure out what's working. And while you don't focus on it, and there were times where we were not focusing on that, and we were just, oh, we need to do outbound. Oh, yes, I know. Okay, maybe next month. And then there are those fluctuations of your pipeline and your forecast that you have to rely on your outbound and not just marketing generating your leads, because that market can likely dry out at a point. And we'll have to do something together. So that collaboration is very important as well.
Can you help me to understand if I have a strong pipeline of, let's say, 300, 400 new opportunities a month and the sales team of, let's say, 10 people, and they're all well taken care of in terms of like just, plenty of opportunities. So should I just hire more salespeople to expand the team, get less opportunities per rep, and then so they can generate themselves, or just kind of leave it as it is, and just kind of make sure that the sales team can take care of the existing pipeline and just work with marketing to building up more and more momentum for them?
It depends how much cash you've got and how you want to play this out. Because if you've got money and you could hire one or more 2 salespeople, then it would create that possibility for everybody. Like, well, at least generate 20% of your own pipeline and the rest will be taken care of. then it will be a common thing for everybody to try to see how they can do it.
Yeah.
But it's not an easy way because somehow you'll need to build the process for something that is only bringing in 20% of pipeline.
Yeah.
So that kind of machine will be difficult to get going. What
Yeah.
we've seen working as well is getting 1 or 2 people from the team just working outbound. I'm sure you've got people who are excited about outbound as well. And then if you motivate them right and also pay them right. So if you keep the same commission structure and just remove the inbounds from 2 sales
Yeah.
reps, that's not
They will
gonna
not be
work.
happy.
But
They will not be.
if you set them on some kind of target and pay them fairly either what they used to get or share target or something like that, then they will be able to find a way of doing proper outbound within some time. I'm not sure how long your sales cycles are, but at that time, when they're done, within that test period, you can either split it out to everybody because everybody will know that we're going to do that as soon as we get this working. Or maybe they just love it and they will just continue doing that and closing those deals that they source themselves. That's very, very rewarding.
Yeah. All right. Best sales comp schema you've ever experienced or had that motivated sales execs to sell more.
Well, the more you earn, the more motivated you are. So the
So
one
that's
that you
like
earn the
it's
most.
like a percentage no cap, percentage of the deal no cap.
Yeah.
From the contract, from the payment, from the annual subscription, from
That's a good point.
is it
That's a good point. So the way to run a sustainable business as well, then you want your salespeople saying less yes to things that are not very sustainable for the companies, like payment terms, or do you want to pay monthly or yearly? So from released payments from the clients is when salespeople, in my opinion, should be paid because that's also more sustainable for the business. And then you will get salespeople who will be thinking also what is the best way for us to get cash in the company as well, instead of just saying yes to whatever and just getting the deals in.
I had this amazing idea. I had a retreat with a friend, and we were thinking about the sales comp. And I have this amazing idea. I'll share with you. Basically, what you do, salespeople takes compensation percentage, right? And then how do you make sure that they work longer, longevity of them, like they stay with the company for a longer time, right? So I thought okay, so if let's say year 1 or year 2, sales exec brings like $1 million, right? With their conversion, they're working their ass off, they complete their KPI, et cetera, et cetera. If you say, hey, if next year you're going to bring us 1.2 or 1.3, your sales commission from 3% of the deal or 5% will go to 5.5 or 6%. So essentially they're working for earning more revenue that will help them to earn higher percentage from the more revenue that they earned. And if you think about that, and that increase doesn't have cap, then year 1 they can earn 3%, then 3.5, then 4, 4.5, and then they can start earning more, but then have that sustainable CAC for you, that you are not have this roller coaster of acquisition.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Though remember that your deal sizes are probably going to grow while you're growing your business, depending on what type of size of company it is. So if we took DreamData and we did this from the very beginning till now, so your deal sizes are going to eventually grow a lot, and the percentages of the salespeople earnings are going to grow a lot. So then, the salespeople who joined the company at the very early times, they will just be sitting back and closing those big deals. And it's like, okay, ta-ta, everybody, that's what we're enjoying. So yes, I think that the incentive is a very good one, but there has to be both the deal sizes comprised with.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So if the pricing is increasing all the time, because obviously the company invests more in some other things, then it's not fair just to increase the percentage. Makes sense. Yeah,
it's
definitely.
fair. I'd love to be that salesperson.
Yeah. I think I definitely need to work on that schema more, but I got you. All right. How is the 2024 sales different from the previous years you've been with the company, and is it different? Have you noticed any difference?
Yeah, outbound doesn't work. So if we said that on 2023, outbound, the classical outbound, I call you, I may email you, and I book the meetings, used to work with personalization and yada, 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 and all those things that people spoke about, that it was the big trend. Outbound, like that, does not work.
What outbound works then?
Social outbound works. So people want to shop. how can you make an experience for people that they feel like they're choosing? You get to be somebody they know and they choose when they need your solution, or you excited them so much that they would be saying yes to a meeting at the very end when you would say, oh, hey, how's it going? Do you want to have a meeting? So, oh, yeah, I was waiting for you to ask that. Because I've been shopping, I've been seeing your content, I've been doing stuff. So at DreamData, we are doing that quite successfully. Like you engage with your prospects. First, you figure out who they are. Who do you want to sell to? What's your list? You engage with the people very thoughtfully. We've got Apollo, we've got Sales Nav. You can filter those lists out and so on and build them out for yourself. And then you engage with your prospects, become their
Right.
friend without actually writing to them, hello, my name is Laura and I sell this and this and that. Do you want to buy? So, no.
Yeah. I'm set up for the multi-channel approach where the buying journey is more complex. You can do outbound, but maybe cold email shouldn't be the first step in the buying journey or not the last step in the buying journey, right? So it should be like a combination of things that over time, right? It's like one of the examples. I set up something for myself where I say hi to every prospect that registered with Belkins,
Nice.
all of them. And 50% of the people just say, hey, Michael, thank you so much. You're the only one, business owner, agency owner that extended an invite and start building a relationship with me, although I'm talking to X, this or that person.
I've got an automation idea
Weird.
for you on this one. Maybe you don't automate it, but one
Yeah.
thing that I find it so cool. So one of the things that still really works in outbound is, or saying hi to people, is video. So if you can clone your video without the person's name, you'd saying the person's name. So you would say
Yeah.
like, hello, Laura, welcome
Yeah.
to Belkin, and
Yeah.
yada, yada,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
add you. So I advise a company called SensePark, and what you can do is you can say, hi, watermelon. It's like, hi,
Yeah.
name.
And then you'll
And
be
they
named.
would say
Yeah.
their name. So you
Yeah.
actually don't even
Fun.
have to do that. And
Yeah,
they'll
that's
feel
fun.
special. You said Laura. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's
You're
fun.
saying hi to
That's
us in
fun.
a video.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I know this company and I know another company that's just similar. Yeah, it's fun.
Nice.
I agree with you. Yeah. All right. So you've been with DreamData for 4 years. Something you've learned just recently that you would love to pass over to yourself 4 years ago when you started your journey with the company?
What do I like? Not much. Just enjoy the ride. Don't worry too much. It will work out. Don't worry too much about where you currently are. The stuff that is not working out. It's normal. It's standard. You're good enough and you have smart people around you to figure it out. It will all work out. And also, one more thing is also set your goals and ambitions in front of you so you know what it is that you want to achieve as well. Because if you're just going into it blindly, sometimes you will reach something different than you wanted. It might be exciting, but if you set forth what's important for you, or at least what is it that you would like to work with and you would not like to work with, it's much easier to say yes and no during that journey in the company that you are. But don't worry, it will all work out. Just like I could say that to every single salesperson. We're so stressed every day. I mean,
That's true.
you didn't close a deal. Oh, there's a competitor now in the picture. Oh, something else has happened. Or they didn't show up for a meeting. Relax and talk with somebody as well about that to just pinpoint some ideas, what you could do. And you will come up with the best idea and it will work out.
Yeah, I love that. I'll pass this over to my sales team. Shout out to Belkin sales team. Do that, please. Enjoy it. Yeah. You mentioned goals, personal goals, and clear plan. What's your clear plan if you're comfortable sharing your goals?
For me, so financial freedom is the goal. I could say that I'm already there, but I would still have to continue working.
Yeah.
But my goal is by 50, I don't have to work for a company and I can choose to work for a company only because I want to do it and I want to help a specific company, or I don't know, my own business if there was one. I'm not having ambitions for having my own business, but you never know. It's like there's still more than 10 years for that. But by 50 years old, I'm financially independent and I can choose to work if I want to. And I'm well on the way for that.
Love that. And I also don't understand. There's a lot of people motivation that just like you shouldn't be striving to start your business if it's not the only option, right? For the independence.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were, I always say that if I had an option back in my 20s to either start Belkins or join other company, I would join other company and just be number two to someone rather than thinking about being number one and being lonely or like just doing what you had to do for a lot of time with this anxiety and the stress and all of that, and
It
at
must
the
be very
end,
stressful. It must be
yeah,
so tough because it's both the financial part of it. Other people,
yeah,
as soon as you start hiring that must be so difficult. I love working for other people, especially people with energy, with good ideas and smart people. So especially startup that have the trio in the co-founding team. Right now I found it. So now you'll have to figure out who is the clever one, the smart one, and the good energy person. It's like try
fine.
to pinpoint that. No, but as soon as you find that type of team and a
Yeah,
manager that really trusts you, it's such a fun ride and you're growing
yeah,
all the time. So
yeah.
definitely choose to work for somebody smart.
When before I started my company and I was working for someone, I always behave myself as if I'm one of the co-founders. I gave shit to product designers, to the office manager, like everyone. I was like opening office, closing office. And I remember the time when I did that and everyone was looking at me, even the founders were like, what the hell this guy's doing? Like why he's so like active. And now like looking back and what I'm doing with my company culture, I was like, bring it on. Like be that person that everything is matters to that person and they want to do that. And they like just as you said yourself, like just expanding what you're doing, how you're doing, and taking one step further. And even in sales, like sometimes in sales it doesn't necessarily need me to that you're just selling. You can also do a product development and help the product team and help the client team and help the other things and so on and so forth. So is there any job or company that you can name that shaped your life mostly, like just change your perception of things?
I think every single job that I took shaped my life in one or the other way, even though the ones that I had for a very short while, there was a reason why they were for a short while. And then my career shifted really a lot. The biggest impact on my career and on my life was when I joined CSC, that big company that started hiring Lithuanians for their Nordic office.
Mhm.
And I didn't know IT back then. It's like for me, when they were saying, oh, this is a big IT company who's hiring for this people in Lithuania, it's like I'm looking at them, guys, I don't know Excel. For me, IT was Excel,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
yeah,
it.
of course.
It's like, I can only write in Word, It's like, no, don't worry. They want a coordination role, yada, 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 and you seem to fit. So they hired me, and I stayed there for 7 years. After a first year in Lithuania, moved to Copenhagen, then got my family and moved roles a lot over there as well. They gave me a lot of understanding of company culture. How is it to work in a big office as well? Because it was one of my first real big jobs. And I got kids back then and they were taken care of a lot. Like I got half a year full paid salary and then I took some time more off and so on. It's like it was perfect. And that's also where I fall in love with sales.
Mhm.
The sales team over there was also very ambitious, but it seemed like there's a little bit more fun happening there in that team. I was not in sales myself. It's like, I think I'd like to be there. And I started to speak with them. I was like, how are you working with and why is it so fun? It's like, yeah, I'd like this, like that. But then when I started, it's like, should I join your team? It's like, no, you're very good there. Or what you're doing, continue. That's where I had to say goodbye to the company. So then I joined Red Hat, learned a lot about company culture as well. Everything in sales was new and so on. That was an
Yeah.
amazing ride for me. And then I got offered a lot of money and a possibility to sell to the C-level of the biggest Danish companies as well. And I said, yes. And that was a very short ride, I would say. Because then I figured out, I was like, yeah, those set straight processes for
Yeah.
sales are great, amazing to learn, but
Yes.
it does not fit my personality enough
Mm.
for me just to do that every single day. And then I joined DreamData and my life changed again.
I must ask one question on social selling, just one, I promise. You've spoke a great deal about all the social selling. I love all the content. I watched like a lot of you before this interview, to be honest with you. So if listeners want
Thank
to,
you.
watch, like, you can just YouTube, and there'll be a lot of really cool stuff. But then one question is, how has your understanding of the LinkedIn game changed in the last year? If it changed or not?
Of LinkedIn?
Yeah, of the LinkedIn game in general and social selling, yes. Has
No.
it changed in the last 12 months in
No.
any way, shape, or
I don't
form?
think it has changed. I think it's still the same. People engage with exciting content and people want to do more. So I think what changed is more people started to do good quality content, doing more video, more personalized content, or really niched content that
Mhm.
is actually exciting and is not just mellow and, oh, to do this, do that. Or if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, always eat breakfast. Like that type of shit, nobody wants to read anymore. So people became more mindful of that, but it has been going on and changing for quite a while now, I would say.
In a positive or negative
A
way?
positive. Oh,
The
LinkedIn is
positive.
becoming much more fun, I would say, what it used to be before. So before in time, it was very easy to be a social seller. Because
Yeah.
for me, if I just did video or like did some more fun posts, you're standing out all the time. And the engagement is great. So personally, it became harder because there are a lot of people doing good content, but I think it's amazing because the platform is getting so broad, so much broader, so many more good content that you can follow and you can get inspired by. I like that a lot. So it's more difficult to stand out, but then you find a lot of new content creators as well.
From your news feed, you're traveling a lot. How often do you travel?
Not too long, not too much. It's a question that I get a lot, also from prospects on calls. It's like, so where are you right now? So I'm not traveling a lot. My content is. And that's what I speak about a lot. When you're going places, make
Yeah.
sure to maximize that before you go, while you're at it, after you're back. While you're at it, like saturate it, post 3 times per day. When you're at conferences, do fun stuff and so on. And then after that, repurpose that again and again and again and again. People forget it. And especially if it's a little bit entertaining, a little bit more fresh, then people will just want to follow it. So
Yeah.
how much, like this year, how much did I travel? I think I was twice out, I think, this year.
Do you do conferences? Do you do like
Yeah,
business conferences?
actually
One?
just at one conference so far. So far, I've only been at LinkedIn B2Believe. But last year, I was at Inbound in Boston. Then we did New York for Ascend. And was I in San Francisco as well? Yeah, but it's like, it's not a lot. So I just
Yeah,
have to
it's not a lot.
remind myself and look at my
Not a
calendar
lot.
how much that is. It's really not a lot. But the
That's true.
content that you're doing will just continue. It's like the billboard that we did. Well, people started complaining at a point, and I loved it. It's like, oh, we don't want to see that billboard anymore because it is like, I get so sick and tired to see the same billboard again. So yes, check mark, you remember that. So that one was repurposed so many times, and people think, oh, she's always in New York and is always doing billboards. Yes, I paid $500, and that video billboard was played 1 minute in 23 hours, and then we repurposed the shit out of it. That's how it works.
Which conference did you like the most that you would go again?
I really liked LinkedIn's B2Believe conference because the buyers they know what they come for. And we knew that what we're selling in the conference is so spot on. It was very easy to continue the conversations with everybody we were meeting. I love that a lot. And I love how LinkedIn is also playing that type of a role. So it's a bit not that startup-y anymore, because we started with SaaStr. I love SaaStr. SaaStr has the vibe. You come back with your dirty shoes that are dusty, and like you have been at Coachella for
Yeah.
real. It's like party all the time. It's not partying, but it is like music, people on, and it's warm, and like we're all talking. But targeted for sales, it's great, but you have to work much more to get quality conversations and to find the right people. And in a
Right.
way, it is entertaining as a salesperson because you have to work for it. You have to find the right people. Sometimes you have to, oh, I think I know who this person is. Wait, okay, yes, Max, we're talking. But at LinkedIn's B2B, it's different because all of the buyers you're speaking with are B2B and using LinkedIn, and they don't know how to measure it. Like, whoa, I can speak with all of you right now. But it was a great conference as well. LinkedIn is doing a great job creating their niche conferences.
Is there any conference or any event that you are planning on going this year that you're excited about?
Yeah, we're going to more.
I'm asking for myself.
Yeah, we're going to more LinkedIn conferences, mostly in
Okay.
Europe this year. And then we're going to be at SaaStr, we're going to be at Inbound, we're going to be at the MOPS Appaloosa. Where else? Yeah, and we just opened up our New York office. So we're going to be so much
Congratulations.
more in New York, and we'll see what's going to be happening. Maybe we're going to do our own conference.
I have this block of this or that question for you. And you can choose either it's a professional blog or it's a personal blog. Whatever you choose, that's the questions.
Like blog, if I were to write a blog?
No. So I have the block of questions, which is like this or that questions, like 10 this or that questions. And I would ask you this or that, like choose one or that.
Yeah.
And the block is either the personal questions or the professional questions.
And
This
you
or
do
that.
every
Which one?
second.
Every second?
Yeah.
Of
First
each
one
block.
you take
Yeah.
personal, the second one you take
Okay.
work related,
All right,
personal,
let's
work
go.
related,
Let's go.
work related.
Let's go. All right. So content for sales, LinkedIn article or video?
Video.
Daily start, gym session or morning meditation?
A run. I take the third one.
All right. Team sync, weekly check-in or real-time dashboard?
Weekly check-in.
Music taste, current hits or classic vinyl?
Current hits. Yes, Taylor Swift. I love you.
All right. Personal branding, sales boost or credibility build?
Credibility.
Social media, posting or browsing?
Posting. I hate browsing.
Do you browse? You don't browse?
I do, but every time I browse, I hate myself for that because I learn nothing.
Put out the phone and say, shit, I did that again. I browsed
Exactly.
for like 15
Yeah,
minutes.
I
Yeah.
hate it.
All right. Essential tool, CRM or marketing automation?
CRM. I'm in sales. What can I use a marketing automation for?
Tech gadgets, latest releases or trusted favorites?
Trusted favorites. Yeah, I'm not that big.
Deal clincher, content marketing or direct sales?
Direct sales.
Let's go. Outbound. Yeah.
Yeah. But with a twist.
Yeah. All right. And then I think just the last one, the personal note, relaxation, watching movies or listening to podcasts?
I'd go for a walk with my daughters. Sorry.
I love that. I love that. I would choose walks again.
Yeah.
All the times. Walks are great.
Yeah. I somehow get a little bit dried out on podcasts once in a while because I listen a lot to the marketing podcasts and then I browse through some of the podcasts. My favorite I love the people who run them, but it's like, oh, this is going to be so similar. I've heard this before. And then then let me pick up a book. And then I'll listen to some books and then get back to it. It's like, oh, new content again. So I have a love and hate relationship with podcasts because they tend to repeat itself.
Yeah.
This one is not going to be the same as any other. That's what I love about it.
That's actually true. We are picking up. We're choosing special people. We're putting special attention. And if you ever watch any of the previous one, everyone is unique. Everyone's special. And my guys are like spending weeks creating the trailer. So I love to see the trailer that they're gonna create of this one. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Listen.
So it's like it's just a special things that you do. Like make it more festive, make it more unique, make it more with the heart, like with emotion, right? That you're doing that not just because it's my job or because I'm paid for that, or for that matter that I can do whatever with it. Like, no, I have zero business plan for this podcast, just having fun,
Love it.
so.
I love it. I'll have to listen to more of those podcasts as well. It's refreshing because then you can hear the person a little.
You can meet other people and
Yeah.
see it real them, right? Laura, thank you so much for taking the time and joining me for Belkins podcast. Really appreciate you for it, and I had so much fun.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun as well. I'm looking forward for the release and to listen to other podcasts of yours.
Thanks.